Here's a Stage Department of Motor Vehicle site, and I'll use it to show you how Botcopy expands what a chatbot can do. The first feature I want to highlight is bot prompts. You'll notice in the bottom right hand corner that the default welcome prompt is here on this home page. But if I was to land on this e-title page instead, then the prompt automatically changes to be specific about electronic titles. And so these prompts are tailored per page, so the assistant surfaces the most relevant help before the user even has to ask. From here, I'm going to show you a couple other pages and how window methods and events create a tighter guided user experience between the website and the assistant. So if I was to land on this renew driver's license page, and bear with me for a moment while I put in some fake information. And I'll put in an email, sarah@gmail.com. And for the license number, I'll put in some nonsense and hit submit. And you'll see here that the chat widget opened up on its own to offer relevant help about what the driver's license number should look like correctly. And so we're using a window method here to proactively support users in context. So when the user got stuck on this step and put the license number in wrong, the chat widget can send a CX event and route the bot to the correct help flow. So this is consistent and reliable because the website is controlling when the help should trigger. Now I'll show you another similar example on this transfer title page. So this is a more confusing use case with a lot of things to fill out. Luckily, I've already pre-filled a lot of it. But let's say the user is stuck on this payoff amount section for a while, or they start clicking into it. Well, then you can see that the prompt here changed to ask if the user needed help with the lien payoff step. And if I click highlight info on web page, the page actually scrolled down on its own and highlighted this lien payoff guidance section. And so that was with a window event, and the web page responded by scrolling and highlighting the guidance section. So this is the reverse direction of the last example I showed you, where now the chat is impacting the website. So the assistant isn't just answering, it's guiding the user through the interface and reducing drop-off. Another important piece here is accessibility. And so I want to show you the focus trap. Our widget supports a focus trap, which is this little square right here. And when I press tab, it's moving to each element of the chat widget. And so now I'm down here at the bottom where you enter your response. And this lets you tab through the chat in a controlled, accessible way, and is part of meeting our WCAG expectations, and is especially important for government and public sector experiences. Now let me show you some other DMV flows that show off some of our custom components. I'll continue in English, and we'll go through a license renewal flow. So here we have a bot card that looks nice and has a little form field for the user to input their license number. Then we'll put in the expiration date, the name on the license, and the date of birth. And now we'll get this nice card with all of the details we just inputted and confirming if it's correct. Say yes, that's right. And it sees that we are eligible for online renewal and asking if we want to renew. I'll hit yes again. And then we get our confirmation number, so that flow is done. Another common DMV use case is booking an appointment. So if I hit book appointment here, and I hit use my location. So I was able to type an address or use my location, but if I hit share here, you'll see in the top left corner that's actually asking to share my location for real. And when I do that, now using the Google Maps API, it's giving me the nearby branch locations for DMVs. And we have this nice carousel of different options, and we can expand the details to show a preview image and a Google Maps embed. So here, I'll just choose this Midtown DMV option. And then we'll get this bot list payload. And so we'll select an available date, and we'll select a time that works for us at 10 a.m. And then once again, we'll get this confirmation card. I'll say yes, book it. And then once again, we'll get our confirmation number. So another important piece of functionality here is authentication. So if I hit this green sign in with ID me button on the web page, it'll automatically open the chat, accept our privacy policy here. And if I click this ID me button here, it will respond with a custom payload, standard ID me OAuth authorization link that I've been redirected to. And after the user goes through this authentication process, they're redirected back to our site with a one-time authorization code in the URL. The site automatically reads that code, triggers our Cloud Run webhook, and exchanges that code server-side with IDMe's token endpoint using the client secret. And once logged in, we can actually personalize the user's experience by pulling from the user's DMV profile. So you can see here, Sarah Jones, you're now verified with IDMe. How can I help you today? And so now we can go through some authenticated workflows. Let's speak with a live agent. It says, hi Sarah, please wait a moment while I connect you. Our agents are busy. Well, that's because I'm the agent. And so if I accept the incoming chat here, I can expand this and you can see it says you're now chatting with me. And if I hit info, since we are authenticated, all of the customer context is immediately put in here so the agent can have all the relevant information they need. Now I'll go back to the chat and I'll say, something agents say, hello, how can I help you today? I can ask something DMV related, like how do I transfer a car title? The agent can provide a response. I can say that thanks, that's all I need to confirm. You saw the typing indicator there and how the chat is going back and forth. And now I'll just say bye. And I can end the chat here and press complete. And then the chat will automatically resume back to the dialog flow session. Another authenticated workflow we can go through is updating our address. So if I hit update address, it says, give me the new address you'd like me to update. I paste it in there. And then using Google Maps API, it's actually guessing the rest of the address that I did not supply and asking for confirmation if it got it correct. So yes. And then great, our address has been updated. So the bot parses and normalizes the address automatically, reducing downstream mailing errors, and that Google Maps API gives that further verification. Another use case would be tracking the license status. If I click here, since we're authenticated, all we have to do is track license status and we'll immediately get all of the information to confirm. Here we go. And we have our tracking number here. And if I hit open carrier tracking, it'll open up USPS with that tracking number already put in for us. And so this shows how external services like USPS integrate while keeping everything in that single conversational flow still. Now let's see one last powerful Botcopy feature called AgentOne. This is a multi-bot orchestration layer that lets users move between agencies in a single continuous experience. So if I say, I want to check my claim status for unemployment, we'll get this bot card here and it'll say the Department of Workforce Development could probably better help you with that. And if I click that button, I am instantly transferred into the Department of Workforce Development chat. And I can go through the workflow of getting my claim status for unemployment, put in the information it's asking for, and submit. And then we'll see that our claim status is approved. You can also switch bots from this top button here, or in full screen mode, you'll see that same panel on the left. And we can go back to the DMV chat and pick up exactly where we left off here. Now, if I was to just say, I want to transfer departments in the chat, we can get a bot list component, and once again, if we press one of the buttons, we'll instantly transfer to that other chat, and we can go right back. So this demonstrates the multi-bot department routing, and the switch is really clear to the user because of how the UI changes. Now there's one last cool thing I want to show you called bot list query preview, and this is like a built-in search experience across the bots. So if I say I need help renewing my business license, Instead of guessing where I belong, AgentOne is forwarding my query to all the bots in the list, and each bot is returning a preview answer. And I can compare and choose which result looks the most relevant and go there. And once again, instantly be transferred into the chat. Now I'll clear my history here and accept the privacy policy, but instead of pressing continue with English this time, I'll show you a bit of the demo in Spanish. You can see that everything has been translated now, including the rest of the chat workflows and the custom payloads, as you can see here. And with the power of Google LLMs, we can support over 150 languages. So that's the demo. You've seen window methods and events, live chat handoff, transactional flows, secure login, authenticated updates, external integrations, multi-department routing with AgentOne, and multilingual support. Thank you.